Hi everybody, you're back, and you're back to a Spanish young starlet, I'm going to call her, that I've discovered recently. And even though she's been out for a while and she's produced an album and she's released singles, I'm playing catch up at the moment. So I'm going back in her career to the first track of an album that she released in 2021. And we're going to get the details of it now because it's very important that we get to know her. And the album itself is called The Little Seed. Can you believe? The Little Seed. So it's The Little Seed in 2021 by Alba Reche. And the first song that she released was La Culpa, which means guilt. And I've got the lyrics in front of me. We're going to get into that, but not before I give you a little bit of a background about her. Alba Martinez Reche is from Elche, Alicante. The singer first gained national recognition in 2018, placing as a runner-up in a series 10 of the Spanish reality television talent competition of Operación Triunfo, behind another famous person. And after exiting the show, the singer signed a record deal with Universal Music. I'm not surprised that she signed a record deal so quickly. Her voice is absolutely one of the best that I've heard in a couple of years now, I have to say. And released her debut studio album, Quimera, in 2019, which peaked on the 3rd position of the musical chart and sold more than 20,000 copies immediately on release, and charted more than 30 weeks and scored a Latin Grammy nomination for Best Engineered Album. Now that's how quickly her career from a reality show started to spiral. And yet I didn't hear of her. I'm always in touch with Spanish the music scene and who's coming out. But she just appealed to me visually, and then I listened to 2 former tracks and thought, wow, what a voice. Her voice is just so incredibly unique. Now her personal life. She currently lives in an apartment in Madrid due to her career, and her sexual orientation she defines as bisexual. She was a headliner at the capital's Pride Parade alongside other LGBT artists, and she also identifies as a feminist. As for politics, Reche identifies as left-wing orientated, and following a second election within 6 months in Spain in November 2019, the singer expects rejection to the 3.5 million people who had voted for far-right national political party Vox by saying you guys are not needed on Twitter. So she's forthright in her political views. She's bisexual as regards to sexual orientation. She got signed up immediately as soon as she left as runner-up of this talent show, and she's got everything in a small package when it comes to writing songs, when it comes to directing what way she wants her videos to be and how she appears in them. She's totally in control of everything she does, and I have to say I admire her already, and I don't really know her, but throughout 2022 we'll get to know more and more about this artist. You're going to thank me for introducing you to Alba. On top of that, you've got her musical links in the description as always with me. And that's it for now. Let's take it away with La Culpa. Let's enjoy. And welcome to my channel. Bienvenida a mi música channel Alba Reche with La Culpa.
Lo vi venir, estabas tan cerca, me dejé ir y fue inevitable ver qué pasaría. Aún así, creí en todo lo que fuiste, creí que fue verdad lo que sentí. La culpa es mía que no quise darme cuenta de que no sabes querer. La culpa es solo mía, tengo que aprender. que tiendes a pasar sin mirar. Te recuerdo que dormías en mi cama. Tú sigues preguntando por mí. Ahora que ya no puedo verte la cara, no hablo conmigo y admito que me dejé mentir por ti. Lo vi venir, la razón lo dijo y no le creí. Quizá no era evidente que nos destrozaría. La culpa es mía que no quise darme cuenta de que no sabes querer. La culpa es solo mía, tengo que aprender. Ahora que tiendes a pasar sin mirar, te recuerdo que dormías en mi cama. Tú sigues preguntando por mí. Ahora que ya no puedo verte la cara, no hablo conmigo y admito que me dejé mentir por ti. La culpa es mía, la culpa es mía, la culpa es mía. La culpa es mía, la culpa es mía, la culpa es mía. La culpa es mía, la culpa es mía, la culpa
Verse 1 in English says, I saw him coming. You were so close. I let myself go, and it was inevitable to see what would happen. Even so, I believed in everything you were. I believed that what I felt was true. So we're off to the start of the song, where she's more or less saying, I'm going to let you in on what's happened recently. And it's a relationship. We were so close, and she's facing the reality that things were coming to an end. She was just facing it. She believed in them, in him, in her, in what it was about, but she also knew it was inevitable that they would separate. Let's find out why. It's my fault. So she's self-blaming herself. I didn't want to realize that you don't know how to love. The fault is only mine. I have to learn. So maybe it was a case of she went into this with very heavy. In other words, she immediately loved this person. She wanted a lot more out of the relationship. She became, I love you, I love you, I love you, that kind of person. And the other person was overwhelmed, going, hey, we've just met, let's just take things easy, but she was wanting more and more. So it was a clash of emotions straight away. The chorus says, now that you tend to pass without looking, I remind you that you slept in my bed. You keep asking about me. Now that I can no longer see your face, I talk it over with myself, and I admit that I let myself be lied by you. There's a self-pity here element as well, and a lot of people go through that. When you meet somebody, you begin a relationship, you're thinking it's going to be a lot more serious because sex is involved. And when sex is involved, that means you've given yourself up, you've given the most personal aspect of yourself to that person. But unfortunately what happens is the other person doesn't replicate it and doesn't meet you emotionally halfway, because they're just looking at this as a fun person to be with. The sex is a bonus, it's just nice, light, nothing heavy, and they're not wanting anything else. But this freshness, when it's fresh, when it's nice, when it's casual, it's to them it's exciting. But then if you have committed yourself sexually to you're telling them, it's a lot more than just sex to me now. It's we've shared something personal. Come on here. But it's like the yin and yang. It's like one person's thinking one thing and another person's thinking another. And in this case, Alba was thinking, I no longer see her face. So she wakes up alone now. She looks at the other side of the bed and she's like, I can't believe I'm on my own after giving myself to this person. And expectation is a terrible thing, everybody. That when you go into relationships, you sometimes feel they need to be feeling the same way as I do. And if I've given myself sexually to them, they must know that I like them. But it's not about that. Sex, I think people put too much emphasis on the sexual side of things in relationship. Sex is an interaction between two people. It shouldn't be the thing that, well, I've had sex with this person, so they must now love me as much as I love them. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about two people whom interacts physically, and it's part of the relationship. It shouldn't become the relationship or as proof that I love you. It shouldn't be held to ransom. It should be just acted upon. It happened, let's move forward, let's just continue. Because I think we grow up with old-fashioned attitudes from our parents and grandparents and the way it used to be. Well, forget that. I think today, because we're more free and liberal, it should be part of the relationship, but not about the relationship. So she continues, now that you tend to pass without looking, I remind you that you slept in my bed. But that's almost like she's holding that person to ransom, like I've just mentioned. You shouldn't do that in a relationship. Yes, that person went to bed with you and you were willing to go to bed with that person. So you're just as much to blame as that person. It's almost like emotionally, she didn't get what she wanted. So she wants to blackmail the other person by saying, don't forget we slept together. And if you become one of those needy people that say, I didn't get what I wanted, and then you turn around and you start saying, and I slept with you. Well, yes, you slept with them. Because if somebody said that to me, I'd say, yes, and you slept with me, and I slept with you. I equally gave up myself to you. But just because emotionally I'm not looking more, why do you think I should be thinking more? When you're on two different levels, it's like the problem lies with you, not with the other person. You're too needy, too wanting to, then you need to accept the breakup and go and look for somebody that's needy and wanty just like you. And they are out there. There's enough people. But nobody should be held to ransom, because that's more or less what I see here. I remind that I slept with you. You shouldn't be reminding anybody that you slept with them. That should never happen. That's an awful thing to do to an awful person. Putting guilt on them for no reason. What was fresh and intimate and nice and fun and sex should be all of that, not dirty and hidden and personal and heavy with emotion. No, it should be an interaction with two people. A mutual interaction of two people expressing how much they like each other in the moment, and then develop that moment as the relationship moves on and more sex is included. But not definitely, when it says I remind you that I slept with you, I'd be giving the two fingers back to the person going, and what? I slept with you too. It's a no-win situation to be in, and it's better to break it off and walk away. It's my advice. Because she continues, you keep asking me, now that I can no longer see your face, I took it over with myself, and I admit that I let myself be lied to you. Yes, that's the thing in this whole song and lyrics about this song and about guilt. She's feeling guilty about allowing herself to sleep with a person, allowing herself to think more of the relationship when the other person was just looking at it as a friendship, as casual. Today, people are not looking marriage as children, the responsibility. Times have changed. Times have changed. The old-fashioned way of you meet somebody, you get married, you have 3.5 kids, you work towards your pension, that's all changed. Dynamics have changed in the world now, and people are just looking friendships and then maybe a forever partner at a later stage, but not initially. And this seems to be a case of a relationship that she was more wanting, more needing, more, oh, I just need it. And through the lyrics, you can tell in her actions that she was almost blackmailing the other person, trying to put them on an emotional blackmail situation. And that should never, never happen. It's toxic. If it becomes like that, that means your mind is toxic, because you didn't get out of the relationship things that you wanted. Well, what should happen then in the future, my advice to anybody in the same situation, is you break it off, you look for somebody, or you wait for somebody, and when they arrive, you tell them what you're looking for. And if they're not, you go and look for another person and another person till you find that person. But never just grab somebody and expect them to think the way you want and act the way you want, and then try and blackmail them through texts about, we slept together. Sex today doesn't hold the importance it used to. It's an action, an interaction between two people when two people meet. In most cases, that's what it is, because they don't know about the love thing until much later. And if they're not looking it in the beginning, just accept that and move on. Because here she goes on, she finishes the song with "the fault is mine" and repeats that continuously. The fault is mine, the fault is mine. And I'm going to agree with you, Alba, in this particular lyrical song. The fault was yours. And the fault is anybody else out there who is listening. The fault is yours. If you look for much more in the beginning of a relationship than that person's willing to give, then you're at fault. But don't try and blackmail them with emotional, saying, I slept with you. Quise, as you say in Spanish, quise. So that's it. That's my interpretation of the lyrics. It's a great, great song about guilt, but it's about self-guilt, about the person's own self-guilt, not being able to handle her own emotions about her own situation. And that happens all the time. La Culpa was a great start to an album I shall be reviewing throughout 2022. I hope you join me. Until the next reaction of Alba Reche, I hope you enjoy this artist. Look for more of her music. Check out, subscribe to her channel, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to mine. All my videos on my channel are all in 16 languages plus the Spanish language. So no excuses. Come and join me. Gracias por escucharme, and until next time, take care.